Hello my friends, it's episode 29 of Unicorn Overlord. Right. Let's go ahead and get all these rapport conversations done. And then maybe we'll go fight the elves, I don't know. Can I ask you something, Lanx? Why do you only sneak food out when I'm on cooking duty? Isn't it obvious? It's because you're the best chef we got. We're never enough for seconds, and this is my one shot at getting a few extra bites in. Well, maybe we would have enough if someone wasn't stealing rations before we even sat at the table. Oh, I never thought about it like that. Still, I can't blame you for being hungry. You work harder than just about anyone in the army. Well, I'm glad you think I'm a good cook. Hold on, is that blushing I see? I really do mean it, though. I don't know what we'd do without you. You didn't let me finish. What I was going to say is, all the flattery in the world doesn't excuse theft. Listen, I'm sorry, alright? How about this? I'll set the table before dinner from now on, and I'll help you clean up after, too. In return, you look the other way while I sneak a couple of early bites. Fine. The second you forget to help, the deal's over. Works for me. So good. That's far more than a couple of bites. Oh, sorry. Do you even know who you're talking to, kid? I'm working for the Liberation and not paying a single damned gold. But sir, quite the conversation you're having here. Yeah, and who in the hell are you? Soldiers of the Liberation in earnest, unlike yourself. Oh, well, you see, I was just kidding about that. Pretty funny, right? What a fine tavern that was. The wine up here in the northeast corner is simply to die for, wouldn't you say? I don't like the implications. Well, in a way I like the implications of that. Perhaps if I was able to hold my liquor better, yet I fear age has begun to get the better of me. I don't believe that for a moment. Still, it's been some time since we last shared a drink like this. Remember our previous occasions, Sir Joseph? But of course, you practically drank the entire tavern dry and grew rather unruly as a result. It is an embarrassing memory, yes. I was still young at the time, just after Cornier had fallen in true. For countless days I awaited orders to commence the final assault against Zenoria. Yet such orders never came. Before I could even realize what was happening, my province had been conquered. And the nobles of our land each bent the knee to Zenoria, one after the next. 'Twas peace, or so it seemed, yet I knew it was little more than fragile artifice. Even so, it wasn't long before the rest of my orders swore fealty to Galerius. Such an outcome came as a shock, of course, but I realized then that I could no longer trust those I once cherished. All the while my mind was flooded with thoughts of the fallen. Did their sacrifice mean nothing? Despair haunted my every action, and my only comforts lay in the flagons of ale and drunken fights. Become an empty shell of my former self. I even attempted to pick a fight with you, if memory serves correct. You did, though it was obvious you had drunk far more than you were capable of handling. Suppose it's fate, in a way. We never would have met if not for that quarrel. Wasn't much of a fight, of course. You knocked me flat into the wall, and in doing so, returned me to my senses. At the time I was scouring Feverith for support of a resistance which may never have come to pass. careful to avoid the watchful gaze of Zenoria all the while. If I may, Clive, the feats you performed in our service were far beyond those of a misguided drunk. Yet appearing as such enabled me to compel change without once raising Zenorian suspicions. I suppose it worked to my benefit in the end, both in my actions and in my finding a mentor as unfailing as you. But I imagine it wasn't entirely straightforward. I stood a wanted man after all. Indeed, you may not have realised it at the time, but it wasn't your grand vision that convinced me to enlist. I merely needed something to do, a reason to act, a way to forget. All the better if I could avenge the deaths of my companions in doing so. And of course reach a fitting end for my own life as well. I see. In any case, the shadows which once engulfed you have long since lifted. Though I presume your fiancée worries for you even now. She certainly did back then, you know. It feels as though it was a lifetime past that my family arranged for Monica and I to be married. I'm not certain you're aware of this, but she and I have known each other since we were but children. Despite my being older than her, she always treated me as though I was years her junior. I never was fond of that. Yet to know she once thought of me, and that she still does to this day, what a callous fool I was. Perhaps an apology is in order then? You mean after all these years I couldn't bear the thought? I'll not hear another word, do it, and bring her a gift as well. Simply tell her everything you just told me and you'll be alright. Yes, I suppose so, but whatever shall I say to her? What utterance could possibly allay the grief I've imposed upon her? Ah, the troubles of youth. I'm certain you can come up with something, Clive. I mean, he just told you. Just say what he told him. I wonder what these seal numbers means. I thought it was like the level of the area, but that can't be right. Is it the order in which I've done these battles? Yeah, it must be. What a strange thing to track. Yeah, it's the order in which I've done the battles. I'm going to take from the fact that all these conversations are appearing in certain places that I should have gone these ways. Oh, there's one over here. Good opportunity to pop in here. With my 20 shards. And buy myself a Cornean pendant. Thank you, Alain. That seems to be all the divine shards I needed. And here, these are for you. Oh, another Carnian pendant. Carnelian pendant. My task complete. These wings now soar for the liberation. For the liberation alone. Be sure to use them well. Sweet. I got one spot right here. Hoklis. Right, before we proceed. I'm just going to take this off. Money is not really an issue. An extra strike for her would be quite useful. I want her to only use this on archers. I'm not sure if that's something I can do. Only do it for the character with the highest physical attack, I think is the closest way of me getting it to do that. Hey Clive, you mind lending me your horse for a sec? I would, in fact. The humble steed is an extension of a knight's very spirit, not something to loan out without good reason. Yeah, I figured you'd say that. If you excuse me, the question, Lex, why do you want it exactly? Well, this is where my family lives, here on Palavia. I was a real handful as a kid, never helped my dad with the fishing, and the only thing I ever talked about was becoming a knight. Now I basically am one thanks to Alain and Joseph. Sure, it feels like I'm kind of just along for the ride sometimes, but now that I'm back I want to show my parents how far I've come since I left. Thing is, I doubt they'll believe a word of it if I don't have a horse to march in on. I should hardly think that matters, Lex. Your unwavering dedication to the crown is more than proof enough of your chivalrous deeds. Come on, I'm begging you. In that case, sit here in front of me. I shall take you to your parents myself. Yeah, I'll just walk. I think I'll look more like a noble woman than a knight at that point. Oh man, I was thinking it. He just went ahead and said it. Just loan him the horse. What a stinge. It's not like it's difficult to ride a well-trained horse, believe me, I know. Off you go! Ha! Kitra, stop. You mustn't harm those poor animals. Just look at how safely they've landed on the other side. Don't worry, Charrrrlieeee, I'm not hurting them. Just sit back and watch, yeah? But, hurrah! Anyway, those chickens were just staring at the river when I got here, almost like they were trying to find a way across. So I figured I'd help. And a quick couple of smacks was a lot faster than trying to get them all over to a bridge. That's quite the method, yes, but it appears to be an effective one, if nothing else. I must say, I'm always surprised to see the power your slender frame is capable of producing. Can't imagine the harsh training you must have gone through to reach this point. I mean... you hit those chickens with that massive concrete hammer. They would be dust. You would obliterate their poor little rib cages. I wouldn't call it training, really. I mostly just messed around when I was a kid. Smacking my friends with pillows or catching huge fish with my bare hands. It's no wonder that I ended up going for the hammer after that. I mean, it's basically the same kind of stuff, just with metal now. Oh, it's a metal hammer. It's even more ridiculous. My parents never came around to it, though. Kept trying to get me to ride a horse like a proper knight. A familiar struggle, but in my eyes... Kitra, you're every ounce the knight they wished you would become and much more. I hope they agree with you on that. I mean, a knight should have a horse, though. What level is this dude? Ha! We can handle it. We cannot handle it. There's a way across there using the bridge that seems unguarded. I wonder if you can sneak in for some looting. $30 pieces of quartzite for this one too. Looks like you got the materials we need. What do you say? Let's repair the bridge. Look at him go! Nothing like fixing up a wounded friend. You did good, kid. Our route to Grand Corrine lies just ahead, Your Highness. Proceed forth, and the final battle against Galerius shall commence and true. Oh wow, that's the final battle, level 40. Man, you could farm your way into doing this really early. Like, you could just leave the whole rest of the game. I'm not allowed to sneak across. But you could, using those military books, you could grind up characters. It would be slow and painful, but it could be done. Anyway, let's go back to doing... That liberation of yours is mighty impressive. I thought you were some reckless kids, but hey, you actually got the goods to back it up. Let's go about keeping my promise then. Here, this old hermit makes me and you business partners. Be glad to sell you whatever you got the coin for. Keep it discreet, yeah? I work in the dead of night, and that's it. Nice! You can make any character a thief. Starless bow. Attack a single enemy, inflicts blindness. Wow, these are all good, actually. He's also got Carnian Pendant. Take 5% less damage. Kills your initiative. Whoa, those idealist hand mirrors, they sell for a fortune. Damn. Alright, that was some amazing stuff there. Let's replace your crappy axe with this. This is gonna make him so much harder to kill. So the problem with this character is she cannot dodge the same way a thief can, but with the thief's mantle, assuming that she can use it. Now she can. Also gives her something to do with her passive points. The funny part is now, I could reduce her base evasion and put another thing on. Alright, that's going to make him harder to break. Sure, why not? He's also a frontline character. The extra 10 HP on these weapons means that they're great for my tanks. Oh. Gives him lots of extra attacks. Okay. I wonder when he restocks. Oh man, I am tempted to buy that. I may have other characters that have non-ideal setups. A magic mine. Okay. Alright, I don't have enough left over. What's with the staring, kid? Don't tell me you got something stuck in my beard. Not all, I was just thinking you reminded me of a warrior, actually, from an old legend I heard years past. The story goes, he was a frequent drunk and would spend many of his evenings deep in a flagon of mead. Yet he did so in secret, not wanting others to learn of what he perceived as a shortcoming. During the day, however, he felled countless enemies as an unparalleled fighter. Though a sentient one, at that, a person of few words and even fewer friends. Till one afternoon, a local bandit devised a plan to finally lay the great warrior low. Treated our hero to one round after another of potent drinks, thinking it a means to deplete the man's strength. Yet all that slackened was the warrior's inhibition. He spoke freely and eloquently while subduing the bandit. As rumour spread of his endearing deeds, he was quickly beloved by everyone in the town from that day forth. Ah, that was some story, kid, but what's it got to do with me? I'm never quiet, and I'm not all that beloved either. The only thing we have in common is the drinking. As well as your dauntless strength, and you are well loved, I might add. I admit I've seen you steal a few swigs of ale before battle yourself. Didn't think you'd notice that. I'm not telling you to stop either, as long as you remember to exercise moderation. The battlefield is no place for life's luxuries, of course, but depriving ourselves entirely is a certain way to damage morale. Ha ha ha, don't worry, I won't take that kindness of yours for granted. Once you're king, maybe you and me can share a drink to celebrate. Look forward to the day, Morden. Oh, it's over there. If I may, Clive, how would you feel about joining my royal guard after peace is restored to our land? Joseph has told me much of the groundwork you laid in establishing our liberation. Many moons you and he laboured in the hopes of one day repelling Zenoria's onslaught. Such strength of will would prove invaluable in my service, I am certain of that. Your Highness, I am truly honoured to hear that you utter such praise. And as you may know, I have little left to call my own in this world, no family to speak of, and no retainers to my name. Yet that's precisely why I must return home at the conclusion of this war, to take stewardship of the land my father gave his life to protect. Mother and sister would have surely wanted the same, had they only lived to see the day. Very well, I'll not fault you for respecting their wishes. All I ask is that you continue to march beside us until that day comes. As if I could ever wish for anything else, I swear it on my very name, Your Highness. Thank you for believing me worthy of a place among your royal guard. 'Tis a badge I shall wear with pride for the rest of my days. Ha! Yah! Slow now. Thanks for letting me ride with you, sir. When I grow up, I want to be a knight just like you. It's a fine thing to inspire to, indeed. Now then, I must be off. Won't wait until my friends hear about this. Hello there, Your Highness. That was kind of you to do, Clive. Though you and Adele are both of noble lineage, you never let such matters hinder your relationship with the common man. As is our duty as Knights of the Ashen Blue, status and station are nigh meaningless here in our province. Join our order, all one needs is the talent to hold a blade and the ambition to see the journey through. One such as that boy from earlier? But of course, so long as he truly wishes to become a knight. Think of Meneris and her lack of horse. Being born to common parents, she couldn't afford a steed of her own. While she claims it's due to her dislike of the beasts, she simply never had the opportunity to learn. Yet while she stood with our order, she was every ounce our equal. A point well made. In truth, I always believed a knight had to come from noble birth. Cornier is a nation of great history, Your Highness. Great noble families who have endured for centuries, while those beneath them are resigned to subsist off their land. Most knights, on the other hand, belong to the lower nobility, a class fully subservient to those more illustrious houses. While I might expect such vassalage to be a positive thing, it is often rife with abuse and exploitation. Yet the province of the Ashen Blue exists to upend such a system. That has been its purpose ever since King Charrrrlieee granted our order the land we stand upon. My grandfather, the Sacred Blade of Cornier. I only knew him from portraits I've seen on castle walls myself. What a fine image they must have painted. He truly was a master of the sword, as his name suggests. Though from what I understand, he often questioned the morality of royal rule. Why did he deserve to lead the nation simply because of the lineage to which he was born? It was that doubt that led him to frequently roam the land, enlisting to his service any able subject he came across, no matter their birth. It is a spirit which the Ashen Blue carries forth to this day in our rejection of minutiae, like title or status. We are all knights under the same banner, equals in every way imaginable. Those you might expect such bold proclamations have never garnered the support of the upper nobility. In fact, they've ever despised our order for tarnishing the legacy of their storied houses. While we swore allegiance to only one sovereign, the great King Charrrrlieee, who bestowed this province upon us. And thus our territory has served as a deterrent to the nobility's influence and the cornerstone of a lasting peace in the region. 'Tis some story indeed, Clive. I understand now why you so declined to join my royal guard. It was out of pride for your homeland and the will to see its ideals carried through to the next generation of knights. I only hope I didn't bore you with the tale, Your Highness. You did no such thing. It is clear to me now I know almost nothing about my own kingdom. Please, you mustn't speak so ill of yourself. In the future, Clive, I wish to hear more of this province and your life within its borders, should you be willing to share. I would be most honoured. Okay. Let's go south. Ah, this is where we find the unsullied timber. Man, this unit is tough. Level 16. There's no way he's got the highest attack. They're not like super high level, but high level enough. Let me wait for you, Prince Alain. Let me give you a little rundown on the situation here in Voynikola. Voynikola Harbour is south of here, is currently under Zenorian control. They use the place as a hub for all their maritime operations and keep it under extremely heavy guard. And well, that's about all I've got. Wish I had more to tell you, but that's the best I've been able to manage. Fine work given the circumstances. You can leave the rest here to us. As long as we lack a clear idea of the enemy's numbers, it's safe to assume the town here is in peril as well. First course of action should be to ascertain how matters stand. I can go in that case. Yes, I suppose the rest of us would stand out. Very well, but be mindful of your surroundings, Chloe.
Strange. I would think there'd be a market here. We've got so many mouths to feed these days, keeping our rations stocked has been almost impossible. I hope there's at least someone who'll sell me some food.
A shame. I thought you dreamt of becoming a gallant knight, just like your mother before you.
Enough. You and I both know they'd never take a half-elf.
No one chooses their birth, Ridiel. Your blood may not be pure, but you can't let that stop you from achieving greatness.
What's going on over there?
If you ask me, the only thing knighthood brought my mother was an early death by Zenoiran steel. Now please, never speak of this again.
Sorry to interrupt, but could I ask you something?
You're not from around here.
You ain't from around here, are you?
Well, no. I'm on a sightseeing tour of Fevrith, traveling to new lands with every passing day.
In a full suit of armor. Right.
The world's a dangerous place lately. Anyway, is there a market near here? I'm running low on rations for the road.
Just keep walking. You can't miss it.
Thank you, ma'am.
My son says she's the one selling us out to Zenora, the Alpana. One day, his friends were grumbling in a tavern. The next, they were tossed in a jail cell for sedition.
Now, you can't go trusting every barb thrown at her just because she was sired by a human.
Oh, it's fantasy racism.
She clearly wasn't who she said she was, so I took it upon myself to follow her. And sure enough, she had a whole battalion backing her up.
The rebel army, no doubt. The emblem you described matches theirs to the last detail.
Quite a valuable bit of info, if you ask me. More valuable than the crumbs you've offered.
Greedy little half-blood, you've already got your pay. I swear, you'd sell your pride if you thought it'd fetch you a few coins.
Some way to thank me. If that's how he feels, maybe I will. Those rebels would probably pay me plenty for a little intel on their enemy.
Half-elves. You know, this is a really, really Japanese thing, but like, the racism against half one race, half another race, if you know, if you're into that whole concept of race thing, it's more discriminated against than actually like there's less discrimination against, say, black people in Japan than there is there would be for a half black, half Japanese person. They call them hafus, which has become a racist pejorative in its own right. So it's a very Japanese thing for a person who is like half of two cultures to be incredibly discriminated against, like more so than someone who is, you know, of another race but not the same race. Just an interesting little cultural tidbit there. Anyway, that's with everything. The town should make for a fine base of operations during the march on Volcano... How do you even pronounce this? Voynikola? Okay, Chloe, let us prepare to depart at once. Apparently Zenora is willing to pay good coin for any info on so-called dissidents. It's fostered a fair bit of suspicion among the residents here, as you might expect. Another level 16 map. This is 15, isn't it? Drakenhold seems to be lower level. I can probably handle a level 16 fight. I do have characters that are sufficiently leveled, though I also have many characters that are behind. I'm just worried about, you know, if the missions here are all like level 9, 10, whatever, and I do them later, I'm gonna come back extremely overpowered and just flatten them, which makes for boring fights. I'd say we do this one next and see what the levels are like down in this region. That is it for now. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time.